You've probably met someone like this before. A guy walks into a room, not flashy, not loud, but everyone turns. He doesn't need to prove anything. People just seem to sense something about him. He looks around, calm, composed, as if the air itself is adjusting to make room for him. He could be a nobody on paper, but in that moment you wouldn't know it. His presence says otherwise. And you sit there watching, wondering, how does he do that? Why do people treat him like he's important even when he's done nothing yet? Here's the uncomfortable truth. He's not necessarily better than you. He might not be smarter, more skilled, or more deserving. But he does one thing you don't. He acts like no one is better than him. And the world believes it. You've been taught to wait your turn, to be humble, to let your work speak for itself. I can say shall. But in reality, the world doesn't wait to hear your story. It reads your posture. It listens to your tone. It watches how you walk, how you speak, how you sit, how you look someone in the eye. Or avoid it. Your presence speaks before your voice does. And if your presence says, I'm unsure, die taste, people will treat you like you don't belong, no matter how brilliant you are inside. That's why the phrase, act as if you are the best Ray, is not just motivational fluff. It's a survival strategy. You don't become powerful and then start acting like you deserve respect. You act like you already deserve it, and that's what opens the doors. This might sound like theater. And in a way it is, but theater is not fake. Theater is performance with intent. When an actor steps on stage, they're not lying. They're showing up fully, taking the role seriously, and inviting others into belief. That's what you must do. Because in the theater of life, those who hesitate to perform are given background roles, no matter how brilliant they are behind the scenes. You might think the world rewards skill, you might think the world rewards CEO's skill. It doesn't. It rewards certainty. The man who walks with conviction gets listened to, even when he's wrong. The man who hesitates, even when he's right, is often ignored. People follow energy. They follow clarity. They follow the one who seems like he knows. Confidence is not a prize you earn after you've won. It's the armor you wear before the fight begins. It's not the result of success. It's the condition for it. Think of the times you let opportunities pass because you didn't feel ready. Think of the conversations where you wanted to speak but doubted your right to say anything. Think of the times you worked harder than anyone else but were still passed over because someone else claimed the position with confidence while you waited for permission. This world doesn't hand out permission slips. It hands out rewards to those who act like they already belong at the table. That's why some of the most successful people aren't the most talented. They're the most convincing. They walk like the ground owes them something. They speak like their words are law. They move like the crown is already on their head, even when it's still invisible. And eventually the world starts to see the crown too. It's not magic. It's repetition. It's the discipline of showing up every day as the man you want to become until you've repeated the image so many times that people stop questioning it. They just believe it. You might say, but I'm not that confident yet. Telos, that's fine. You don't need to be. You just need to act like you are. Not to deceive others, but to retrain yourself. You're not pretending, you're becoming. You're shaping your presence like a sculptor-shaped stone. You carve, you polish, you adjust. And slowly the image becomes real. Aperture matters, how you enter a room, how you shake hands. And slowly the image becomes real. Every movement matters. How you enter a room, how you shake hands, how you listen, how you speak. It's all part of the signal you send. And that signal is not passive. It's active, unique. It either pulls people in or pushes them away. It either says, I am someone dipeta or pasthat. You can ignore me lacident. People don't dig deep. People don't dig deep. They respond to what's on the surface, not because they're cruel, but because that's how we're wired. We don't have time to evaluate everyone's soul. So we go off cues: body language, voice, eye contact, pace, posture, confidence. This is not about arrogance. It's about assumption. If you assume you are powerful, you will begin to walk like it, speak like it, look like it, and the world will slowly reflect that back to you. If you assume you are invisible, that you need to prove yourself first, that others are better than you, then you'll move accordingly. You'll shrink, you'll wait, you'll apologize for taking up space. And again, the world will reflect that back to you. You are not just living in the world, you are projecting into it. And the world is responding not to your potential, not to your truth. So act like you're the best, not to put others down, but to show yourself and the world that you finally understand what no one ever taught you. Power is not granted. It is assumed, and the one who dares to assume it wins. Junbei. Have you ever wondered why some people, even when they have nothing truly remarkable to offer, still get all the attention? They walk into a meeting, offer a few vague ideas, and yet somehow everyone nods, listens, agrees. Meanwhile, someone else, you perhaps, has spent hours thinking through the problem, refining solutions, preparing carefully, and still your words land softly and die in the air. It's not your intelligence that's lacking. It's not your preparation. It's the signal you send the moment you open your mouth, or even before. The world doesn't follow competence. It follows certainty. People crave something firm to believe in. And when you walk and speak like you're absolutely sure of yourself, you become that anchor others are looking for, even if your ideas aren't perfect. Confidence, then, is not a reward, it's a requirement. If you want to lead, you cannot wait until you feel completely ready. You will never feel completely ready. No one does. That's the secret. The difference is those who rise brosians. Those who rise choose to act like they're ready, even when they're terrified inside. That's the lie that becomes the truth. Because every time you carry yourself like you're in control, people begin to believe it. They adjust themselves to your rhythm. They respond to the image you project, not the facts you carry. This is why you've seen average men lead exceptional teams. Why loud, overconfident voices take up all the space while the quiet genius remains a footnote. Because the world reflects what you are, what you broadcast, not what you contain. You can be brilliant, insightful, strong, but if your behavior whispers hesitation, people won't dig deeper to find out what you're really made of. They'll take the hint and move on. That's why you must own the room before the room offers you permission. Walk in like you belong. Speak like you've already earned your place. Carry yourself like you've got nothing to prove. Because the moment you try to prove something, you signal that you might not be as powerful as you claim. Even hesitation becomes a message, a delay in response, a nervous laugh, a hunched posture. These are tiny leaks of energy that signal to the room, I'm not sure of myself. And people feel that instantly. Because people are deeply wired to follow strength, or what looks like strength, they begin to reposition you. They put you one rank lower. They take your suggestions with a grain of salt. They test your boundaries more freely. They question your opinions more often. Not because they want to hurt you, but because that's how the human brain operates. We trust what we can feel. We follow what we can sense. And confidence, true or performed, is one of the most powerful emotional signals in existence. It creates gravity. It draws people in. This is why you should never wait to be celebrated before you carry yourself like a winner. Never wait to be validated before you stand tall. Never wait for your turn to speak up. Take it. Every hesitation is an invitation for someone else to steal your moment. This isn't about being loud. It's about being sure. Even your silence can hold power, if you choose it on purpose. When you sit in a room, speak little, but lock eyes and hold yourself upright, People start wondering what's on your mind. They lean forward, they watch, because silence paired with confidence becomes mystery, and mystery is magnetic, but silence without presence? That's just invisibility. You have to know the difference. When you walk into a space, your first task isn't to explain yourself, it's to take the space. With your spine, your steps, your breath, your gaze, your energy. Before you say a word, you've already begun the conversation. And when you finally speak, your voice has to carry weight, not just belief in your idea, but belief in produloti. Speak like your words matter. Speak like they have consequences, because if you don't believe yourself, why should anyone else? People want to follow someone who looks like they know where they're going. They want to back someone who acts like they've already been chosen. They want to give the crown to the one who walks like it's already on their head. So act. Not because you're arrogant, not because you're faking, but because you understand the game and you're done sitting in the stands. You don't owe the world humility. You owe it presence. Because if you don't claim your place, someone else will. And odds are, they'll be far less deserving than you. You might still think Quanage, but what if I'm just pretending? What if someone sees through me? Here's the twist, everyone's pretending. Even the people you admire most, they were once unsure, nervous, making it up as they went. The difference? They didn't let that uncertainty leak. They acted with conviction before they had proof. Confidence is self-hypnosis. At first it feels fake. You stand taller even when your legs want to fold. You speak up even when your voice wants to shake. You hold eye contact even when your instincts tell you to look away. But the more you do it, the more your body learns, your voice settles, and your energy catches up. That's not lying. That's transformation. You're not fooling the world. You're teaching it how to treat you. And you're teaching yourself who you are becoming. Every time you carry yourself like someone of value, you believe it a little more. And once you believe it, others follow. The world rewards the most consistent signal, not the most talented. Show up the same way every day, and people stop questioning. They accept it. They repeat it. And soon, the myth you built becomes your identity. You've seen it before. A man walks in with quiet certainty. He doesn't need to brag. He doesn't even speak much, but people part for him. They defer to him. Why? Because he assumes power. An assumption is contagious. Now compare that to the man who walks in unsure. He smiles too much, nods too often, shrinks himself to be agreeable, to be safe. The room forgets him, not because he lacks worth, but because he told the room without words, "Hey, you don't have to respect me." That's the disease of self-erasure, and it's a choice. You can choose to shrink and wait to be told, "You're enough." Or you can choose to stand like you already are. You don't wait for permission to act powerful. You act powerful and the permission follows. And the world treats you the way you treat yourself. So stop looking for a sign. Don't scan the room for approval. Walk like it's already yours. Speak like your words matter. Speak like your words matter. Move like you belong, not to dominate others, but because you refuse to disappear. People respect certainty, not perfection, not humility, not even skill. You can be wrong and still lead. You can be inexperienced and still be trusted. What matters is that you believe fully in the person you are becoming. Confidence is not noise. It's not about shouting or rushing to fill silence. It's in your posture. It's in the calm of your voice. It's in moving slowly because you don't need to beg for attention. It's holding silence like a weapon. It's needing no one's permission to be who you are. People want someone to follow. When they feel that energy in you, they naturally gather around, not because you pushed them, but because they were waiting for someone like you to appear. So don't wait. Readiness is a myth. No one feels ready. The strongest people you know simply acted before they were certain. They jumped and learned how to land on the way down. That's your job now, not to perfect the image, but to choose it. Because if you don't, someone else will choose it for you. And they'll write a version of your story that fits their narrative, not yours. That's the cost of hesitation. You can either teach the world who you are, or let it guess based on how small you seem. You've heard fake it till you make it wrong. Wrong, you're not faking, you're becoming again. You practice power like a musician practices their craft, until the movements, the tone, the posture, the energy stop feeling like an act. They lead are you. Nay? And when you've worn the crown long enough that it no longer feels heavy, no one questions it. You are the one who leads. You are the one who leads, the one who matters, the one who belongs. The cruel truth? Power doesn't go to the best. It goes to the one who believes he is and acts like it. Not because he hates others, but because he finally stopped doubting himself. You're not competing for nicest or smartest or hardest working. You're playing a game of perception, and perception bends reality. Walk like you are invisible, and you will be. Speak like you are unsure, and you will be ignored. But move with certainty, and the world bends round you. You don't need to scream to be powerful. You don't need to crush others to lead. You don't even need the perfect plan. You just need to stop asking permission to exist. If they're uncomfortable with your greatness, let them squirm. That's not your burden. Power is a mirror. It reflects what you send. Send fear, and it reflects rejection. Send confidence, and it offers opportunity. Every step, every glance, every choice broadcasts who you are. So the real question is, what have you been broadcasting? A man still waiting to be enough? Or a man who already knows he is? Because if you see yourself as a background character, you'll never be cast as the lead. But if you assume you are necessary, if you move like you belong, others will adapt to that energy. They will believe what you believe. Confidence repeated with discipline becomes truth. You may not control every outcome, but you control how you show up. And when you show up certain, something shifts, the air changes. That's the difference between the forgotten and the unforgettable. You don't become powerful by accident. You become powerful by assuming it over and over until it's impossible to see you any other way. The man who walks like the game is already his. The world kneels. Not because he asked, but because he trained it to. So now it's your turn. No more shrinking. No more explaining. No more waiting. From here on, walk like no one is better than you. Not to prove it, because no one will believe it until you do. Power is not granted. It is assumed, and the one who assumes it first rules.